They told you life changes in a moment, that success is about sudden breakthroughs, one big opportunity, one lucky break. They lied, because the truth is far more terrifying and far more empowering. The truth is, your life is compounding. Right now, every thought, every action, every minute you spend doubting yourself, every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, every book you choose not to read, every hard conversation you avoid, it's all compounding, in one direction or another. Most people never see it coming. They coast through their days, thinking it's just one more scroll, just one missed workout, just 1 week without a plan. But compound thinking doesn't care, because the math of your life is always running. It never sleeps. It never pauses. It never forgets. There's a reason Warren Buffett made 99% of his wealth after the age of 50. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was the silent power of time, multiplied by relentless consistency. And here's the catch. The compound effect doesn't just apply to money. It applies to you. Your confidence, your clarity, your discipline, they're all earning interest or bleeding value every day. Because you don't become someone extraordinary by doing extraordinary things once. You become extraordinary by doing ordinary things without fail for an unreasonably long time. That's how empires are built. That's how muscles are carved. That's how legends are made. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. You know what that means? It means he ran 1,000 experiments and chose not to break, because he understood something you need to tattoo onto your mind. Progress is never loud. It's invisible, relentless, compounding. The days when nothing seems to happen, those are the most important days of your life. Because that's when most people quit. That's when they tell themselves the lie. It's not working. It's not meant to be. They were born lucky. I wasn't. But compound thinkers, they see it differently. They know that success isn't linear. It's exponential. And that means you need to believe the loudest when the world is silent. You want freedom? Then start doing the boring things consistently. You want clarity? Then eliminate the noise daily. You want wealth? Then stop trying to get rich quick and start building value long. You don't need more hacks. You don't need more tricks. You need a longer runway and a stronger mind. Because the version of you that you dream of, they're already waiting. But you'll never meet them if you stop walking when the road is flat. You think today is just another Tuesday? It's not. It's a brick. A single tile in the compound mosaic of your entire life. And how you place it matters. You have no idea what your potential looks like 1,000 reps from now. But that's the point. That's where belief steps in. That's where discipline crushes doubt. Because every goal you set starts out invisible. And every master was once a disaster. They say the rich get richer, but they're not talking about dollars. They're talking about discipline, because focus compounds, belief compounds, resilience compounds, and when those three align, you become unstoppable. So I have to ask you right now, what are you compounding? You want to know the real tragedy? It's not failure. It's potential that dies in silence. It's the man who could have written the book, but never sat down to write page 1. It's the woman who had the courage to lead, but kept shrinking in rooms that needed her voice. It's the thousands of people who woke up with a dream and went to bed with an excuse. They didn't lose. They leaked, drip by drip, day by day, because they never realized what they were compounding. You can't see the damage in real time. That's the trick. You can waste a week scrolling. You can waste a year drifting. You can waste a decade almost becoming who you're meant to be. Because mediocrity is a slow death. and it wears a very comfortable smile. But belief, real belief, is uncomfortable. It doesn't let you settle. It doesn't care if you're tired, or scared, or lonely. It taps you on the shoulder at 3 a.m. and whispers, "Hey, you were born for more than this." And you know what? It's right. Because if your goals don't scare you, they're not goals. They're distractions. If your routines aren't demanding, they're not routines. They're rituals of avoidance. And if your self-talk doesn't sound like a coach in your corner, then you've let a critic rent space in your head for free. You've got to evict that voice. You've got to stand in the mirror and remind yourself, I am not average. I am not a statistic. I am not done yet. Because the person you are today is just the scaffolding. The real structure? That's built brick by brick in the dark. When no one's clapping. When no one's watching. When it's just you. And the decision to keep going. Discipline is the gateway drug to freedom. You think rules are a prison? Try living without them. Try building something great while chasing every impulse. Try reaching your potential when your life is run by mood instead of mission. It doesn't work. The highest performers in the world, the ones who bend reality, the ones who reshape industries, launch movements, build empires, they're not fueled by motivation. They're fueled by systems. They don't wait to feel ready. They train themselves to execute regardless of the weather, the mood, the inbox, the comments. Because they've learned something most people never will. Success isn't about how you feel. It's about what you repeat. Wake up earlier than your excuses. Move your body when you don't want to. Speak your vision when your voice shakes. Invest when it's scary. Love when it's hard. Keep going when it's boring. That's how compound growth is born. Not in the big wins, but in the small, unglamorous, inconvenient choices stacked on top of each other like bricks. And one day, you'll look up and realize you're standing on a castle that no one else could see but you. But listen closely. There will be storms. There will be days when your mind turns against you. When your confidence leaks through the cracks. When your vision fogs, when everything in you wants to retreat. That's not weakness. That's the weight room for your soul. That's life saying, let's see how bad you want it. And in that moment, you either shrink or you rise. You either break or you bend. You either listen to fear or you whisper back, not today. I've come too far to quit now. You see, life doesn't ask you if you're ready. It just throws the weight, and the world watches to see if you fold. But here's what most people forget. You don't need less weight. You need stronger muscles. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Every challenge that shows up, every setback, every delay, every broken plan. It's a test, not to break you, but to build you. Because vision without resistance is just a dream. And resilience without pain is just a fantasy. No one remembers the ones who almost made it. The world honors the ones who broke through. And breakthrough only happens when belief becomes louder than doubt. You want to dominate your life? Then get clear on what you stand for. Not what looks good on a vision board. Not what sounds clever in a tweet. But what you'd bleed for, what you'd build in the dark, if no one ever gave you applause. What you die chasing, even if the world laughed at you. Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. And most people are living with standards that scream, survive, instead of thrive. Raise them. Start acting like your name is a brand. Start showing up like your time is limited. Because it is. Stop giving energy to things that shrink you. You've got one shot on this planet. One life. One timeline. And the clock doesn't stop ticking because you're confused. So what's your real goal? To get rich? To feel safe? To be admired? No. Your real goal is simple: to become the kind of person who can't be ignored, to walk into a room and your energy speaks first, to be so focused, so clear, so grounded in your purpose that distractions bounce off you like rubber bullets, not because you're special, but because you trained that way. You conditioned your mind. You built inner gravity. And that gravity, that internal mass, it pulls results, people, and opportunities straight toward you. That's not magic. That's identity work. That's compound work. That's stacking truth on top of truth until the lies can't breathe in your presence. You want to know the most dangerous force on earth? It's not hate. It's not greed. It's not fear. It's a person with vision who refuses to quit. The Wright brothers didn't have a blueprint. They had belief. Oprah didn't have permission. She had vision. Lincoln didn't have peace. He had purpose. And they all had one thing in common. They kept showing up. When it was hard. When it was ugly. When it was lonely. When no one clapped. Because vision, real vision, doesn't beg to be seen. It commands reality to change. And so must you. You're not here to play it safe. You're not here to be reasonable. You're not here to check boxes and wait your turn. You're here to build, to evolve, to stretch, to suffer beautifully for something that matters. And that kind of life, it demands sacrifice. It demands that you become someone who can hold greatness without dropping it. Someone who doesn't chase validation, but embodies conviction. This is it. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, this is the moment where you stop watching life happen to you and start forcing it to answer to you. No more waiting for clarity. No more waiting for permission. No more waiting for motivation. You are the compound result of every decision you've made. And that means you are one decision away from changing everything. Decide who you are. Decide what you're done tolerating. Decide what your future demands. And then become the kind of person who doesn't break that promise. Not for comfort. Not for fear. Not for anyone. Because you don't get the life you want. You get the life you build. And building takes sweat. It takes fire. It takes silence. It takes faith that lasts longer than the pain. You think greatness happens when people cheer for you? No. It happens when you're alone. When your back hurts. When your mind screams. When the progress is invisible. And you still show up. That's compound thinking. It's what turns one more rep into strength. 10 more minutes into mastery. Just one better choice into a completely different future. And no one will see it. Not at first. Not when you're planting. Not when you're watering. Not when it looks like nothing's changing. But if you stay long enough, if you burn bright enough, if you keep your eyes locked on your vision while the world looks away, eventually, they'll come back. They'll ask how you did it. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you had some gift, and you'll smile, because the gift wasn't talent. It was grit. It was belief. It was the quiet decision to rise, over and over and over, without applause. So here's what you do now. You get up. You shut out the noise. You stop explaining your dreams to small minds. You put your phone down. You put your fears aside. You grab the next brick in front of you, and you place it with power, because that's how castles are built. That's how destinies are claimed. Not by the loudest, not by the smartest, but by the one who refused to stop. You want to own your life? Then compound the hell out of it. Compound your faith. Compound your focus. Compound your habits. Compound your courage. And one day, you'll wake up surrounded by everything you once had the audacity to believe in. Not because it was easy, but because you were relentless. This is your time. This is your blueprint. Now go make it real.